I recently stumbled upon a bunch of videos on YouTube talking about how vlogging and just starting a YouTube channel completely changed their life, right? They not only learned a lot about themselves, but they also managed to make a career out of it and live off of YouTube. That sounded absolutely fascinating, but of course, those are always like the best examples. I'm fully aware of that. And there's many more that have done it and have not succeeded. But this is exactly where my brain stops me from doing these kind of things because I'm instantly overthinking. And, oh, okay, yeah, but those are the best, like, the success stories. What about all the failures? What can go wrong? But to counter all of this and to push myself out of my comfort zone, even more than I already have, because I have pushed myself out pretty far already, because I'm streaming and putting myself out there, but not really personally with my personal story and just yapping and making videos that are probably going to be seen only by 5, 6 people and no one's going to care. Like that's a different story. Being able to stream a game where you're comfortable playing the game and you're kind of confident is definitely different than opening up and just talking into a camera, fully well knowing that there's probably not going to be anyone watching. So here I am. This is what we're going to do. What's the whole point of this video? So the whole point of this project is just to document my journey of trying to become a content creator and streamer or just in general independent. There's so much more to this story and I'll get to it eventually. But that's the whole main goal, just documenting this and of course learning and growing on the way. I just got to start somewhere. So the first videos are just going to be about myself, who I am roughly. And then in the future, and this is not going to be structured at all, I'm going to keep the editing to an absolute minimum. Maybe I'll take out some stutters or ums or buts or stuff where I wasn't sure what to say next, where I stumbled, anything like that. Sure, I'll maybe cut, but I'm going to treat it like this, for example. I'm going to try to leave it as authentic and raw as possible without much editing, because that'll make it easier for me to not overthink and just upload it. It's going to be about the stories. It's going to be about the opinions. Anything I want to talk about, I will talk about and put it on here. And, if you guys have questions, always feel free to comment down below and I'll make a little video about that then and then go from there. I'm going to take any topic that I feel like talking about on that certain day, or anything I read in the news, anything that is important to me. Like there are some topics, for example, I have so much to say about, and I hate how, the state of that topic is. For example, education. I've always hated how education was done in our society. But again, this will be for another time. But this channel is just basically a gigantic online diary, I guess. And you guys can tag along if you want to. And if not, that's fine too. And like I said, I'm going to keep it simple. I'm also going to just sit right here and talk for the first probably 10, 15, 20 videos. Maybe in the future I can, buy a better camera or something and then walk outside or do travel vlogs, or who knows? Who knows where this is going to take me? And I funnily just yesterday I saw a video from Mr. Beast that he uploaded or pre-uploaded 10 years ago, where he was more or less a nobody with, I think in the video he said like 8,000 subscribers, which for me is actually pretty high, but obviously for him is peanuts. Insignificant. And I saw that video and it was so inspiring because he was like, oh, maybe I'll have 1 million, 1 million subscribers in 10 years from now. That would be amazing. But I'm going to upload this now. And I'm at the beginning of my journey. Let's see where I am in 10 years. And now he's obviously one of the biggest YouTubers on the planet with, I think, 450 million subscribers or something. And it's just insane and so cool because he documented that back in the day with his dreams and his goals, and now he can look back on it. And I kind of want to do the same, obviously not with the same goal in mind. This is for me just personally growing, and I just want to be independent money-wise, but I'll get into that topic as well later. But I thought that was very inspiring, and that's what I'm going to do here now. And maybe I can inspire other people as well. That would be really, really cool. And to show you how it is to just put yourself out there and just start yapping. So yeah, now that you know why I'm going to do this, I'm going to talk about a little bit more about myself, just to give you a general idea who I am and what I've done so far and where I've been. I'm another one of those lost millennials. I know it's cliche, but it's just true. I'm currently in my early 30s. I feel like early 20s, mentally at least, physically maybe not so much. It's probably mainly because I have not really found my purpose in life yet, and I don't have a stable job, or any job for that matter at the moment. I'm trying to make it as a streamer and content creator, which is going to be the main topic of this video as well, or rather next video, but the beginning of this whole journey. Anyways, so I think that's why I feel so much younger, because I don't have what typically when I was younger, right? I viewed 30-plus-year-olds as fully stable job, probably already family with small kids. They own a house, they own probably 15 dogs, 2 cars, and yeah, I'm sitting here at the moment at my parents' place and trying to save up money to make this dream work. And yeah, it's just I don't feel anywhere near where I would have pictured 30-year-olds when I was a teenager or younger. So that's probably why I still feel so much younger. And it's also because I've always been a gamer and always been like a creative person and a little bit living in my own little bubble and fantasy world, I guess you could say. And I haven't really faced the realities of life that much because the jobs I had were short lived. They were internships or just a little job to get some money. Nothing too serious. And I have never tried to get like a career where I go to like rank up the ladder, as you could say. That has never appealed to me. I always wanted to make my own thing or do my own thing. And yeah, be independent, be my own boss. So that's why I'm trying to do this whole thing. And this entire project will be documenting this, right? This is going to be the whole journey, the whole experience of me trying to build this life that I dream of or that I have in my mind. What I did so far, roughly, I did a bachelor's degree, or I have a bachelor's degree and I have a master's degree, both of which I didn't really enjoy or like and took way too long to complete. Like, it's insane. I think I studied over 10 years. I failed my first studies. That's a whole story in itself. I can get into that some other time. Not my proudest moment for sure. But in the end, I did pull through and I did get my master, which I am proud of. So I'm glad that my parents did push me in the end to finish it because I was very close to not even finishing that either. But now I'm pretty, proud because it was never really that I was too stupid to do it. It was just that I didn't have the purpose I didn't see why. I never had the vision of why I would need that. And I didn't agree with how grades labeled you as intelligent or not, because it was basically in my mind just working hours on end, trying to learn something by heart and then spitting it back out in an exam. Like, the whole topic is just something that makes me cringe, how we value grades and intelligence. And so that always sat wrong with me and I never really enjoyed it. And I was not good at it because I didn't enjoy it. And I never sat down enough and wasn't disciplined enough to just push through. In the end, I did manage though. I did get a master's degree, actually two specializations within that master, which was accounting and controlling. Also not the greatest and most exciting topics, but that's all right. Anyway, so that's what I did. High school, obviously, and then studied. After my studies, I tried to apply for a bunch of jobs. One that I got really close to getting, it was Megaphone in Australia, Melbourne. I would have loved to get that job. Sadly, didn't get it. It was a marketing agency. And since I was slowly getting into this whole social media content creation marketing side of things, that would be cool to learn from a company that does it successfully. And the company just had a cool vibe and I really liked it. So sad that I didn't get that, but that also enabled me or pushed me towards, content creation myself more and starting streaming, which I'm really enjoying right now. Now, because I didn't get any of the jobs that I wanted to, and I did apply for mainly jobs that I wasn't really qualified for. I also did game design and things like that, or I applied for game design. And obviously with accounting and controlling, you're probably not going to get a job in game design or marketing. That was my issue. I was also already older, right? So I applied when I was late 20s, and most jobs in those entry levels, they want someone early 20s or maybe latest mid 20s. It was rough trying to apply for those kind of things. Now, my grades really weren't bad. Actually, I had pretty good grades in my master. So that wasn't the issue, but I just applied for the wrong kind of jobs. And the ones I would have gotten, I really didn't enjoy or didn't think I would enjoy. So I declined. That brought me to one of my buddies who asked if I could help out with one of his startups. And we did that for a while. I'm not going to go into details there because I also don't want to dox him and everything. Maybe in the future, I'll ask him if it's fine if I talk about this. But let me just tell you, it wasn't my thing either. The startup thing was okay, but I learned a lot and I was really not prepared to work as structured as you need to be if you're, a solopreneur or an entrepreneur. Lots of learnings from that endeavor. And eventually we shut it down though. He has another business of his own and that's going really well, or it used to go really well as far as I know. And totally understandable that he wanted to focus on that. And me doing that alone, what we were doing, I was just not prepared for it. I did not step up to, say, hey, I got this all alone, no worries. And so I also more or less stepped down and said, nah, let's kill this idea and move on from it. So that's a really, really rough overview of what I've done the last couple of years. So after all of this happened, me and that buddy actually that I did the entrepreneurship thing with, we went to Thailand for 6 weeks, and it was an amazing time. It was awesome. Much love to that country. Amazing people, unbelievable food and nature. Really, really cool. And I came back with so much energy and so many ideas and inspiration and creativity. And since I've always been a gamer all my life, I've always loved games since I'm a kid. I even invented like little board games and things like this when I was young. And like this, let me just tell you, it'll be something that sticks to me until I'm, probably in a wheelchair and 90 years old, and I'm still going to be sitting on my laptop or PC and trying to play some games. So that has always been a part of my life. And I neglected it for quite some time because it was super unpopular and uncool when I was younger. But eventually, always it came back into my life, even if I had a year or 2 years break between gaming. And so I thought, why not try, streaming? Give that a go. Without going into too much detail, because I want to talk about that whole topic in a separate video, that is what I have been doing the past 2 years, and I'm still enjoying it. It is a really, really hard career to get into, though, and to make it a success. Like I said, this is just like a brief overview. I will get into more detail in another video. Same thing with content creation, which is very close to streaming, but a little bit different. That's also going to be a separate video after these ones. Another thing why I thought streaming could be so cool is because I love meeting people. And that's also why I'm streaming in English or making this video in English, because I'm actually German. Also könnte ich das auch alles auf Deutsch machen, was für den Algorithmus gar nicht mal so schlecht wäre. So, that's why I do everything in English, because I love to meet new people and I love to be international. That's how I grew up. I grew up in the United States. We moved there when I was 6, and I lived there for 5 years, 5.5 years-ish. And yeah, so I've always been someone who had to adapt really quickly and learn new languages or learn a new language. And I really enjoyed that. And that's a part of my life that I want to keep and or endorse more. That's why I do everything in English and try to connect with people from all over the world and not just my little bubble in Germany. So streaming really connected a lot of dots for me personally. The possibility of meeting people, talking, connecting. It's gaming as well, which is one of my big hobbies, like I said. And then it's also being able to be creative and independent. So it really checked a lot of boxes for me. Now that you know a little bit of, who I am, what I've done in the past couple of years, and why I'm here now, sitting here talking to you guys, I want to talk even a bit more deeper about my goal and why I'm trying to make this work. One of my biggest flaws and fears is actually judgment and failure. So being raised as a German and also probably inherently in my DNA, I was always extremely afraid of doing something wrong or failing or being a failure. I always had amazing plans, great ideas. I always enjoyed being creative and coming up with something, but that never got any further. I never really did anything with that because that would mean putting those ideas to the test, putting it into reality, working on it, and being able to receive judgment for those ideas or even failing with those ideas and then facing the harsh reality. Maybe it was a shit idea. Maybe it was really terrible. And because I didn't want to face that fear, I never did anything. I've always had so many, I have books and books. Wait, I can actually show you. Oops. I have these little books, and I can really recommend them, by the way. Muji notebook or something. But yeah, I have a bunch of those, 6 or 7, and they're all full, scribbled with ideas over the years. And I have notebooks I have on my laptop. Never been a problem. That's always been my strong suit. But then actually converting them into something real was the issue. It was this whole analysis paralysis, imposter syndrome, fear of judgment, all of that above, any other syndromes and isms I have or had, and I'm trying to work through and get rid of. There's probably a bunch of other fancy psychological terms that describe why I can't convert my ideas into reality and actually make a successful career out of it yet. So this whole thing is not just about, coming out of my comfort zone. It's also really trying to fulfill my, or to strengthen my strengths, but also combat my weaknesses. And I really want to overcome this. Because, sure, there's going to be a lot of comments saying, dude, you're boring, or these videos suck, or whatever. I've already had so many weird comments from Twitch streams and the TikToks that I made. I'm getting resilient to it, you know? I'm not caring as much as I do anymore, and I wanna push this further than I ever have. And then I just wanna enjoy what I do. I wanna stand up in the morning, wake up, and just enjoy what I do. Obviously, there's always gonna be aspects to any job, any career, anything you do in life that are not perfect, and there are sides of streaming or content creation that suck. And there's always gonna be something like taxes or paperwork or organizational things that just are boring as hell and annoying to do. Like, I'm not delusional. I know it's going to be not 100% perfect, but it, like I said earlier, checks most boxes and it really connects a lot of dots and connects a lot of strengths that I have. So now it's all about fighting and pushing through these weaknesses and weak points to make this thing work. Another thing is that I've always enjoyed storytelling, but I'm like in my head I can connect everything a little bit better, but when it comes to actually speaking, I'm a little bit too unstructured. So this is another good opportunity to learn how to really structure videos. The first 15, 20, maybe 50, maybe even 100 videos you're going to watch are going to be a bit messy. I might be repeating myself here and there. I might, not make complete sense from time to time, or you're going to think, why the hell is he, where is he now? And why is he talking about this? But I'm going to try to get better at this as well, because I think once I master this, all my video editing and all my content creation is going to skyrocket as well, right? So I'm going to take all of these videos where I just talk and yap and try to improve little things every single, week, month, whatever. So even if in the end, after posting these videos, just my mom, my sister, and my dad, like these posts and give me a thumbs up, and those are my only views, and maybe some random drunk dude or someone that stumbled across the video and kept the video running while they're on the toilet, that's all right. It's going to be me trying to just improve by myself, and either the views come or not. This is not supposed to be a career with these kind of videos and this channel. That hopefully comes with what I learned from this channel, and then other, topics and other channels that I aim to create, and maybe with the streaming. I do have to start somewhere though. So this is it. And speaking of this is it, I think that's a good cutoff for today. It's supposed to be just an introductory video, my very first one. This is the one I'm going to look back to, in 40, I was going to say 40 years, in 10 years, when I'm early 40s. And hopefully, like Mr. Beast, I can look back on this video and see how much I improved and where I've been, or like how far I've gotten. I'm not even sure if I'm going to cut that out, by the way, because it's just reality. That's just what it's like if you're sitting in front of a camera trying to talk freely. But yeah, just like him, I hope to see the improvement in a couple of years. And this is the starting point. Next videos, I'm going to talk about me trying to stream and where I am right now, at what point, how I started, and where I hope to go with it. It's probably going to be a bit shorter. We'll see. And then the video after that, I aim to do the same style of video, also just yapping about the content creation journey and all the channels that I have planned. After that, it's going to be the wild, wild west. I literally am going to talk about whatever I feel like, whenever I feel like. It could be hot topics. It could be something that was in the news, something that just came to mind that I want to talk about. Don't expect any coherent, structure or anything like that at the beginning. It's just going to be me yapping. If you're interested in it, and if you want to get to know me or my opinions, or you want to ask me stuff, that's totally fine. This is why this channel is going to be here, or what it's going to be for. That's it for today. I'm sorry. I'm a big yapper. I can go on for hours. So see you soon, maybe in the next videos, and take care.